I have a huge list of questions here. Okay, any advice to people who want to publish their first children's book? Ashlyn?
Um, I started doing books when I was still working in animation, which I wholeheartedly recommend, which is make sure that you're got your day job slash money situation squared away, because making books takes like a lot of time.
Mhm.
Um, so uh, children's book publishing specifically works on sort of like a different model than animation. It works on like an agent system for the most part. There is like the self-publishing industry, and that's like kind of a whole other can of worms. You can kickstart your book, you can self-publish, but the way that I went, which is sort of the method that I think works for most people, because you don't have to market yourself, is you query or apply for an agent with your portfolio, similar to how you would apply for a job, with a manuscript, and then you take that manuscript, they send it out to publishers, and then the publishers would then take that book and they would publish it for you, market it for you, send it out. So if you're interested in books, one website I highly recommend for everyone is scbwi.org. It's the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. They're a national organization that great resource for children's books writing illustrators. They have a directory of agents, they have a directory of publishers of where you can submit your work. Just an overall great resource for people who are interested in publishing.
Would you mind typing that in the chat?
Yeah, scbwi.org.
Thank you.
Oh, and Tina did it too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're just really great. So if you're interested, like one thing I did was I went to the library and I took out like 10 picture books and I read them aloud. I don't have any children, and I read them aloud to my cats. Children. My fur babies, just to get a sense of what it was actually like to read aloud a book, because it's a completely different medium than animation. I know I read books as a child, but reading them aloud and like experiencing what it's like to flip through a book is a completely different experience than like sitting and reading it alone. You really have to like immerse yourself in like in the material, in the medium, in the physical object that a book is. So I would like buy books. I would can you hear me? I think I checked.
Yes.
AirPods ran out of battery. And I would just like immerse yourself in what stories are like now, because they've changed a lot since you were a kid too. And just, yeah, enjoy it. Oh yeah, and somebody in the chat, I don't know if I'm supposed to read the chat, mentioned Art Center at Night with Marla Frazee. Such a good course. Marla Frazee is a genius. She wrote Boss Baby, the actual picture book, which is a really good picture book that they then turned into a movie, which you could do. Maybe you write a picture book that they turn into a movie. But she's a genius. She's written and illustrated a bazillion books. Yeah, it's awesome. Sorry, that was a really long answer.
This following question from Jamie is very much linked to what you were just saying, Ashlyn. If you want to add to it, they were asking, how do you begin illustrating children's books? I think you pretty much answered that. Yeah.
Start. I mean, the only thing I would say is picture book is 32 pages. Mm-hmm. And it's either 32 or 40. You can't make it any number other than 32 or 40.
Wow.
Or 40. So it's got to be in multiples of 8 pages. So do some thumbnails, break out some paints, have a good time.
Also, Ashlyn, from Monica, did you storyboard for your children's books before putting them together?
Yeah, actually, I recently, for my last
2 or 3 projects started doing my book dummies, which is what you would call a manuscript with the art. I'm not calling you all dummies, book dummy. I did my book dummies in Storyboard Pro because it's a great way to see your page turns, which is, you know, how each page turns into the other. Great way to do it. Set up your 32-page document, draw out your book in Storyboard Pro, export it as a PDF, and then open that PDF in Photoshop, and you can start drawing your roughs. It's a really, really great way, I think, to get a nice rough version of your book. If you have Storyboard Pro, and see how the book looks all together.